I feel that there is what the former governor is not telling us. Because it's clear that the whole entire structure he worked with is the same structure that the current governor is still working with.
Okay.
And now, the former governor is saying structure. We are not seeing any structure, breakaway structure or something.
I'm glad that the word structure is being thrown around in this interview, and it has been mentioned many times
Yes.
by different sides.
If you carefully analyze it, you'll see that same structure, 95% of the structure, is still the same structure working with Swin Fubara.
You know what? I'm going to pretend that I don't understand anything about Nigerian politics.
True.
So you're a party man.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of structure in political context, or in the context of this conversation?
Yeah.
What does former Governor Wike mean when he says structure? What does structure mean?
All right. Now, when you talk about political structure, first as a Rivers man, you know, I've been involved in politics from at least from when Democrat returned, from 1998,
Okay.
when the People's Democratic Party came, and then we all joined the People's Democratic Party, and we're actively involved. I've held different positions. At some point, I moved out of the People's Democratic Party.
We'll get to that. So
and then-
you're
and all that.
knowledgeable.
Now, so what am I saying? Now I'm a member, I'm back, I'm a full stakeholder of the People's Democratic Party. And as a politician, when you talk about structure simply means those who form the blocks or who are critical stakeholders in every local government.
Okay.
Now, these structures do not belong to one person. In fact, in Rivers State, if we must give credence to anybody who will claim to own a structure, it's Sir Dr. Peter Odili. You know why I say so?
Tell me.
When democracy returned, it was Sir Dr. Peter Odili, because you know the military took over, mutinied the democratic process of under Shenekon and all that. How Chief Rufus George, that group of governors left, who came and they ruled till 1999. Abu Salami handed over. Now, so when democracy returned, Peter Odili was governor. Now, Peter Odili was able to identify those who have control over the people.
Okay.
Stakeholders, people, opinion leaders.
Hold on. Is that control or influence?
Influence.
Okay.
Okay. Who had influence on the people. Now, they formed the People's Democratic Party. And that's why consistently the People's Democratic Party has always won election in Rivers State. Because that foundation was laid properly.
All right.
So those influencers, those opinion leaders, community leaders were all integrated into the People's Democratic Party.
So basically,
And they form the 23 LGA structures.
okay.
And that structure has remained. Now, if you observe, from Rotimi Amechi to Governor Wike himself and to Governor Sim Fubara, everybody who has made Wike governor, or the people who fought alongside Amechi and the ones who are currently still working with him, are all people from that same foundation laid by Sir Dr. Peter Odili.
Okay.
Now, so that's what forms a political structure. Now, so the structure does not necessarily belong to one person.
Okay.
There's no leaders. Let me tell you this. The day Governor Sim Fubara, by God's grace, if he does well, and I know he will do well because he has started well, if he finishes his tenure as governor for 8 years, by the time he's leaving, he too cannot lay claim to a structure.
Yeah, but I believe from your explanation that
Yes.
a structure should have a figurehead.
Yes. Now, a figurehead, right? I agree. The figurehead remains the governor by party constitution.
Okay.
Anybody who is governor takes over the structure. I was listening to a clip before I walked into the studio. The former governor of Akwa Ibom State did a Thanksgiving yesterday. And he alluded publicly to the fact that the governor, the current governor, is his boss, is his leader. He thanked the current governor for attending his Thanksgiving program, and that his loyalty and commitment is to the current governor because he is now his leader. That is the practice everywhere across the 36 states and the Federation.
We have a break coming up in 3 minutes, but I'd like you to give a yes or no answer to this question.
Okay.
So from your definition,
Yeah.
structure is a power capturing mechanism.
Yes?
Okay. People would argue that structure has been used to rig elections. It is a power capturing mechanism that works in favor of those who do not want to follow due process.
I disagree with you.
Because of course, you're very much allowed to disagree.
I'll throw light on that.
Because a lot of times, and especially in this last election, when those who were considered underdogs attempted, for the number one office. What the response they got is that you don't have structure.
Let me explain structure
You
to
don't
you
have
in that context.
what is required, and I'm speaking to people's reaction.
Yeah.
To rig elections.
No, not to rig elections. Now, let me tell you this. In River State today, the People's Democratic Party is well rooted in all the polling units you can talk of.
Okay.
When we talk about structure, we are saying that for you to win elections, you must have active members who will be able to galvanize support for you in every polling booth. I can bet you that I can publicly say, authoritatively say, that today the People's Democratic Party in River State is a party that can boast of a minimum of 50 active party members in every polling unit. Now, those party members are the voters themselves. Now, so when they refer to you in the last election to, for example, P2B as not having the structure, what they meant was this. You don't have 50 active members in a polling unit that will in turn mobilize others to cast their vote, convince them, talk to them, persuade them to continue to vote for your party. When you don't have that active number of persons, you can't win an election. It's not about rigging.
What does it take to sustain the loyalty of those members?
What does it take?
Yeah.
I will explain. What it takes to sustain their loyalty is purely dividends of democracy.
So hold that thought. We have a break coming up. After that, we talk some more. Please stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the Morning Crossfire. I'm Sam Oracle Chinedu. You just heard the words and voices of some Rivers residents asking the FCT minister to allow Governor Sim Fubara initiate and implement his plans for the state. My guest is engineer TAMS IBULUYA. He's a stakeholder in the political scene in River State, and he seems to share that sentiment as well. You're welcome once again.
Oh, thank you.
Well, we'll be diving deeper into this conversation, but I'd like to hear from you. A lot has been said. What is your take? Do you agree with the reactions of some of the Port Harcourt residents that were interviewed that the FCT minister should allow Fubara initiate and implement his plans? And a question that I'm going to ask my guest shortly, how exactly is the FCT minister making governance difficult for Governor Fubara? 0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. Please turn off your radio as you call. I have Andy from Rukboku. Good morning, Andy.
Yeah, Chinedu, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, your guest in the studio.
Yeah, good morning, Chinedu.
Andy.
Yeah,
Andy,
I think,
sorry. Good morning, Andy.
there is a vital question you asked your guest. Yeah, the question was, this mechanism, this structure, is not the type of structure that is used to rig election. He answered it on the surface aspect. I want to give him an example. I'm not going into the River State politics or River State election. What I'm saying is in the presidential election. So if you go on the IRF right now, as I'm talking to you right now, you will see so many types of results where they were using some certain things to be cleaning the unit, including my own unit, where I come from, in the presidential election. And everybody had known before now that Rivers people claim that LP won in River State. I want to ask your guest, if that mechanism, if that structure is not used to rig election, what happened in the presidential election? Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Andy. JJ calls from Rumigbo. Good morning, JJ.
Sam, good morning.
Good morning.
I greet your guest in the studio.
Yeah, JJ, good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sam, you were referring to one of the presidential candidates that they told him it doesn't have structure.
That's right.
Structure has nothing to do with rigging of election.
Okay.
Structure has to do with, if you listen to the former governor when he went to Edo State during the second term campaign of Obaseki, he was shouting, "Wear your James, wear your James. Don't wear skirt that day. Wear your James so that you can protect what the people have voted for you." That is what structure is meant for. Not about rigging, but make sure that you are not rigged. That is just all. Then, in the talking about if the former governor should allow this governor to do his things, the answer is yes. Sam, if you listen to the interview of the minister, the present minister of FCT, he talked about I. But let's say you are no longer the governor. Why will it be I? How do you now say a company that has worked here, built 12 flowers, makes so much money, they're supposed to be falling on each other, is the person you will now change to go? I don't understand. I. You are the FCT minister and also the governor that is I. So for me, I think you should allow the governor to drink water and drop cup.
All right.
It will help everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, JJ. Ezekiel from Rumukrushi. Good morning.
Victor, good morning.
Good morning.
It's unfortunate that River State is a kind of a stitch where one person is trying to remote control River State from Abuja, trying to use APC to cause confusion in River State in the name of Godfather. That is why I keep saying, let's do the right thing. The masses, the youth, came out in mass to vote the right person for themselves. But one person sit down and impose one person to everybody so that he can sit down in Abuja to remote control. Now this person is saying, no, I am not doing again. What are you going to fight him for? Why are you going to fight? What are you fighting? What is this structure? If I may ask, what is this structure? What is this structure, sir?
Okay. Chima from Rumu Okuta. Good morning, Chima.
Good morning, Mr. Sam.
Good morning.
Mr. Sam, I think I want to draw the governor to what the former governor said, where he said when he assumed office as a governor that he was being fought by federal government then, and he still ensured that he put the programs and the projects for on ground. I want to tell him that it's high time he gets himself off the hook. So saying that the whatever the small governor is doing is going to affect his governor, me, I do not believe that, because he is the governor. He has the right to exercise his constitutional given authority and do what he's doing. And when somebody talks about structure, I am not seeing any structure here, because if structures are human beings, then it's subject to change. Nobody has a monopoly of any structure.
Okay.
So when you were a governor then and you left office, it means that your structure is obsolete. Then the new person who is in charge should be able to be in charge of whatever happens to that state. So for me, I think the governor should not be deterred by any antics of the former governor. It's only a calculated attempt to make him not to put any pressure on ground. So at the end of the day, he will have nothing to hold on his hand that he has done. So let him continue.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Chima. Most of the callers have shared similar sentiments. The first one was asking, was the structure not used to rig elections in River State? That was a question for you.
Yeah. Let me quickly respond to that. You know, there are some issues we shouldn't be discussing, mostly as it concerns the last presidential election. You know why? The highest court in the land has laid that matter to rest sufficiently. But however, let me also throw light on when we talk about, as politicians, when we talk about structure. Like I said here, what sustains a structure is programs and policies of a government. If the government comes up with good policies and programs that affect the people in the grassroots, they give their support naturally to that government to continue in office. And that's what has sustained River State, PDP River State. If you check from the orderly government up till this time, all have been PDP governors, and they have done well. Now, the current situation we have at hand, I'll tell you, is because somebody has not realized that he has left office. Every former governor, when you leave office, you allow the incumbent to govern the people. The incumbent comes to you for advice when necessary. Now, the incumbent can consult you on programs and policies, you make your input, but not when you want to so pretend. You could imagine a former governor who is a current minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria claiming, saying, I put this one in place, I made him governor. Let me ask, it's even insulting to Rivers people, because from the last I checked, former Governor Wike did not practice law for good 3 years, for crying out loud. I have a lot of lawyer friends. And I wonder whether he made those money he claimed that he used to buy phone for people. Those are Rivers people's money. It's money from Rivers coffers. How much has he made from law practice? You are a governor. Good. You bought phone for Rivers sons who want to contest election. It wasn't your private money. Now, from what we have seen so far and the explanation I gave, it is clear that Governor Sim Fubara is on the same trajectory in developing Rivers State. Everybody in that cabinet was nominated except one or two by the former minister. Now, so if there are issues, because the issue of structure is neither here nor there, you can't convince us. You can't continue to, feed the public with propaganda, telling them stories that are unverifiable. The former governor should please tell Rivers people what exactly Sim Fubara has done. We want to hear, because like I said here, we are beginning to be convinced that there is more to the issues that is being espoused by the former governor. There are issues that we need to hear about. Are they financial? Are there other issues that he feels that the governor is not obeying? And again, the governor is not answerable to him. The governor is answerable to Rivers people. Okay. Now, you ask a question. You ask how the former governor is distracting the current administration. Yes. It's clear. A situation where assembly members will be called to Abuja for meetings and be given instructions For example, of recent some Martins and Mewule-led faction of the assembly go to Abuja for a program. I'm very much convinced because from the last I checked, I don't think the governor gave approval for that program.
They say they went for a workshop.
Yes, it has to come through. Governance is an how do I put it? The executive plays a role in the legislative business by approving programs. And from what I have, I don't think that program was part of the approvals that have been made for the legislative to carry out its functions. That program was a program that was just conceived of recent. And then without the approval of the input of the governor, such programs took place. A situation where assembly members from what we're here are being threatened and all that. These are distractions.
Okay.
Now, the issue as to whether you will continue to win Rivers State, you will win. Let me say this clearly. Rivers people have a duty to first protect their state. Number two, to also decide where their votes go to. I'm from Okrika. I'm from Ward 5. I vote in polling unit 1, Ward 5. In my village, I have 3 polling units. My maternal village and my paternal village are all joined together. You barely cannot see the boundaries, but they have 2 units there. There's a community besides me there that I have a lot of goodwill, 2 communities. And they have 2 polling units. Those polling units, my people will listen to me. You know why? Over time, I've greatly impacted my community. I've influenced a lot of things. As in, I've given them a lot of support. Now, so when the time comes, they won't be listening to a Nyesom Wike or anybody. They will listen to their son who knows that they should have light, who knows that they should have this, who knows that people should have scholarship to go to school, those that you cannot provide.
All right.
So those votes are not in one man's pocket. It is based on the programs and policies of Governor Sim Fubara that those votes will decide who continues to govern them.
Let me ask you, Engineer TAMS. The interview with the FCT minister left much to be desired.
Exactly.
Because like you said, a lot of people were like, what exactly did the governor do?
Yeah.
We did not get an answer to that. What we got, the 2 things that the FCT minister said were 1, disruption of structure, which is what we have spoken extensively about, and that the governor is an ingrate. He's ungrateful. Now, you are a party man.
Yeah.
You understand how these things work.
Yeah.
Let's imagine that you were a governor and I am your successor. I became governor heavily due to your support and influence. So I don't want to say you're my godfather, but I had your support.
Yeah.
What does my gratitude, what should it look like? Because if you come out to say, Samuel Chinedu is ungrateful, and you don't state what I have done or not done.
Exactly.
In the political scheme of things, what should gratitude from me to you look like?
Good. Now, let me lay this foundation. There are issues the governor raised in that interview. First, I'm an Ijaw man. I'm born a Okrika man, and I think I should throw more light on that so that this issue will be laid to rest. Governor Sim Fubara, Siminalayi Fubara, by his name alone, Siminalayi Fubara, they are pure Ijaw names. He's a full-blooded Ijaw man from the Ibani extraction. From the last I checked, the Fubara's compound is from the Dapae Amakri section of Opobo. Now remember, when King Jaja, or you can call him King Jumojua, moved from the current day Boni, which is the Ibani speaking people, with 14, if I have my numbers right, 14 core Ijaw families working who has chiefs who went with him to settle down in current Opobo. They are all Ibani speaking people. And again, if you go to Opobo today, the Dapa Amakri section of Opobo is one area that you can see people fluently speak the Ibani language. Now, Governor Sim Fubara's father is from the Dapa Amakri section of Opobo, under Fubara. Now, under Dapa Amakri, you have Fubaras. There are a lot of Fubaras.
Okay.
Different, in our just setting, we call them, Wari Kubu or something.
We don't have a lot of time.
Now, so
need you
and the mother,
go to the point.
the mother is also from that Dapaya Makri family.
Okay.
And then maternally from the Jaja family. Now, every Fubara you see in Opobo are relatives, their original root is from the Green family in Boni. and they are relatives of the current king, the former king and the current king.
Okay.
They are direct relatives of the former king. So you can trace Governor Sim Fubara's history as a core, full-blooded man.
You have traced his ancestry just
yes,
now.
as to the issue of being an ingrate, you rightly ask, politically, what should I do so that I will not be an ingrate? If Governor Sim would be loyal to the point that he would inherit the structure of the cabinet, more than 70 or 80% of the cabinet that work with the former governor, at the request of the former governor, who are today serving with him, that does not amount to ingratitude. If Governor Sim Fubara would respect the former governor to the point that as soon as he came in, it's unprecedented, that he would quickly award a 50.1 kilometer Port Harcourt Ring Road project and will have the boldness to say, I'm ready to tie some part of the IGRO and the internally generated, and the federal allocation to Zenith Bank to 200 billion and gave to Julius Berger to fix a 50.1 kilometer ring road. It shows that the young man, the current governor, is not an ingrate. Now, what will amount to being an ingrate, let me tell you, is when behind the scene, the former governor may be making some requests, including financial.
I like you use the word may.
Yes. Some requests that may also involve financial. That is clearly how do I put it? It's clearly unimplementable. That's why I say Governor Wike should stop telling Rivers people he's taking my structure, he's an ingrate. You know, if we talk about ingrate, being an ingrate, yesterday, the Okrika ethnic nationality paid a courtesy visit or a thank you visit to Governor Wike, former Governor Wike, that our son, Honorable Buma he made it possible for him to be appointed Executive Director of Finance and NDDC. Now, in that meeting, the Okrika people spoke their mind to say, we came to tell you thank you. Now, let me ask Governor Wike, the same way the Okrika people has come to reciprocate this. We all are aware that the former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and his wife, the impatient Jonathan, made it very possible for Governor Wike to become governor. He did not fall from somewhere. Former President Jonathan had to put his foot down to make sure at all costs Governor Wike becomes governor, including the wife.
You would argue
now,
that
let me ask.
He had his political history.
No, I'm coming, sir. Let me ask.
Yeah.
Has the former governor ever put together a team of Ikure elites to go to Otueke to go and tell president, because there is no such evidence, to go and tell former President Jonathan, thank you for making me governor. I finished serving my term as governor. Have you seen that before?
TAMS.
Now, so when you talk about being an ingrate,
there might be different ways to show appreciation, right? He may or may not have taken people to go to.
But you also know that he did not acknowledge the former family. Even on the last day of governance, he called names of those who made it possible for him to be governor. He never acknowledged former President Jonathan and his wife.
I'm playing the devil's advocate here, which is a very difficult position to hold. But, again, it could have been.
So when you call somebody an ingrate, it
could have been a closed door appreciation.
There was no such closed appreciation. You're a media person. You're a media person.
No.
No, I'm coming, sir. I'm coming, sir. President Jonathan is my sister. She's from Okrika. And let me tell you, not up to two months ago, I was in Otueke. I paid a visit to that family.
Okay. And
I knew that from the last I heard from her, such appreciation or what closed door or openly was never done.
All right, so
that is a pure definition of being an ingrate.
We have 3 minutes left on the clock and a few messages. So let me take them. Mr. Sam, good morning. There's something very important and dangerous from the former governor. The former governor said that people are ignoring, which is when law speaks, militancy will run. When law speaks, ethnicity will go. Okay, that's from Goodluck Piabara on Facebook. Let's see. Do we have a few messages on WhatsApp? I'm trying to make it a squeeze. The real reason of all this wahala is money. In my opinion, the former governor should allow River State be. This is from Stallion. And Bernard says, good morning, Sam. Structure and on-groundness is nothing but rigging mechanism used by politicians. If not, tell me why the PDP will be on ground in Rivers and APC will not win presidential election in River State. Or is that APC will win? Okay. They can't tell us anything, Bernard says. Good morning, Mr. Oracle and the guests. My angle for the Rivers political situation is that we, as humans, have put ourselves in a situation that anyone in power has the ability to turn us as they will. And at the end, we are the ones crying. I think any governor who has done his 8 years and is still disturbing the ruling of his successor for his own benefit should be arrested, Emmy says. Good morning. FCT Minister Wike lamenting over crisis importation by Governor Sim. My question is, who manufactured the crisis? He should continue trading on the crisis and stop the complaints. Too many messages. Is the minister working with the structure of the previous minister, or does he have his own blueprint? He's talking about his ministry over there in Abuja. A lot has been said, Engineer TAMS, and well, there's a whole lot more to say, but time.
Let me just speak
conclusively. You literally have a minute.
Conclusively, first, let me send this message very clear. Yesterday, the member representing Okrika Federal Constituency, my brother Alison Anderson,
very quickly
said to Governor Wike, the Okrika people are solidly behind you.
Okay.
I want the public to take note that our representative never called this consultative meeting where we, Okrika people, as job people assembled, gathered together, brainstormed and agreed that we'll throw our support for Governor Wike.
Okay.
Okrika people are job people. We will protect our own. Our own is Governor Sim.
So finally,
number two, finally,
yeah.
I want to urge the governor. Governor should not be distracted in any way.
Okay.
The governor should know that this is an antics to continue to distract him, not to bring development to Rivers people.
We're out of time.
To focus on the development of Rivers State.
Thank you.
And I can assure him, Rivers people will give him maximum support, and he will govern this state for 8 solid years.
Thank you. Well,
thank you.
Oh my goodness. We have to go for this break.
Mom's love is pure. It flows, no, she does.